campfire paradox. Aeschylus, the bankrupt brain. Your brain is currently processing more data in a single day than your ancestors did in an entire lifetime, and it is quietly, systematically killing your ability to feel alive. We have been conditioned to believe that ancient humans lived short, miserable lives of non-stop panic and starvation. We look at the past through a lens of modern superiority, assuming that without technology, they must have been miserable. But evolutionary biologists look at the data and see something else entirely. Your ancestors had a monopoly on joy. Think about your morning. You wake up, and before you've even taken a deep breath, you reach for your phone. Instantly, you flood your synapses with massive dopamine spikes from people you've never met and crises you have absolutely no power to control. By 8 a.m., your neurological system is bankrupt. You have already exhausted the chemical resources meant to last you the entire day. 40,000 years ago, a Homo sapiens woke up to a baseline dopamine level that was perfectly flat and rested. They didn't have a screen hijacking their attention. When they opened their eyes on a Tuesday morning, they didn't rush to produce or consume because survival didn't take all day. The data shows that securing food and shelter rarely took more than 3 to 4 hours. The remaining 12 hours of daylight were a vast open void. To a modern mind poisoned by constant productivity, that sounds like a nightmare of pure boredom. But to an ancient human, that void was peace. It was the exact state of neurological tranquility that your brain is desperately scrolling through algorithms to find right now. Enter the age of hyperintelligence. Look at the device you are using to watch this video. If it breaks right now, can you fix it? Do you know how the glass was melted or where the copper inside it was mined? We live in a world of absolute convenience, but absolute ignorance. We touch things all day long that we do not fundamentally understand. Your ancestors lived the exact opposite reality. They possessed a level of hyperintelligence and patience that would break a modern mind. Consider a discovery made by archaeologists in South Africa. They found stone tools dating back 72,000 years. When they analyzed the molecular structure of the stone, they realized something incredible. These primitive humans weren't just blindly chipping rocks. They were performing advanced molecular engineering through a process called silkrete heat treatment. An ancient human would find a raw stone, bury it precisely beneath a campfire, and maintain a specific steady temperature for up to 30 hours. If the fire got too hot, the stone shattered. If it was too cool, nothing changed. They had to read the heat with their bare skin, watching the embers change color. Think about the psychological capacity required for that. No notifications, no background music, just 30 hours of focused attention, waiting for the exact moment the molecules shifted, turning a brittle rock into a tool that flaked like glass. Why did they spend an entire afternoon doing this? Because they had the time, and their brains allowed them to focus on a single object until it was perfect. Every single thing an ancient human touched passed through their own hands. They didn't pass the time by consuming things other people made. They spent their lives in a deep, calm state of continuous creation. And these here, the first moving pictures. When the sun went down in the ancient world, the darkness was absolute. There were no light bulbs, no street lights, no screens. There was only the fire, and it was right there, sitting in the pitch black 15,000 years ago, that your ancestors invented the very first movie. For a long time, scientists looked at small engraved stones found in ancient caves and thought they were just prehistoric garbage or random doodles. But recently, researchers looked closer. They noticed these stones all had distinct burn marks on the edges, proving they were intentionally placed right next to the campfires. When scientists recreated this in a lab, they discovered something breathtaking. The lines carved into the stones weren't messy mistakes. The ancient artists had intentionally drawn animals with extra legs overlapping each other. When the wild, dancing shadows of the campfire flickered across the rock, it created a brilliant trick of the eye. The animals didn't look still anymore. They looked like they were running, breathing, and moving through the fire. It was the world's very first cartoon. Our brains are hardwired to look for life in the dark. It's a survival trait. If you can see a moving shape in the bushes, you stay alive. Your ancestors took that survival trait and turned it into art. Think about how you will go to sleep tonight. You will probably be alone in a dark room, staring at a piece of flat glass, letting an app isolate you. But thousands of years ago, humans spent their nights packed together for warmth, sharing the exact same story, watching the rocks dance. First, the tribe without the touch. When the stories were over and the fire finally died down, nobody went to a separate bedroom. There were no doors to lock. The entire tribe slept together in one big pile, sharing body heat to stay alive through the freezing night. They could hear each other breathe. If someone had a nightmare, a hand was right there in the dark to touch them and calm them down. When they woke up in the morning, the very first thing they did wasn't checking notifications. They sat around the morning ashes and told each other what they dreamed about. To them, dreams weren't random nonsense. They were a map of the mind that the whole tribe helped you figure out. We look back at these ancient humans and we feel sorry for them. We think they were poor because they didn't have cars, electricity, or the internet. But look at the trade-off. An ancient human touched the real world all day. They knew the texture of bark, the weight of stone, the taste of clean water. Every single object they used they had made with their own 2 hands. And every single voice they heard belonged to someone who would love them, protect them, and know them for the rest of their lives. Glad you're coming home. We didn't build the internet because we wanted to escape the real world. We built it because we missed the campfire. We invented social media because our brains are still hardwired to want a tribe. We desperately want to know what everyone is doing, what they are thinking, and where they are sleeping. But the internet gives us the tribe without the touch. It gives us thousands of digital friends, but leaves us completely alone in the dark. You aren't scrolling your life away because you are lazy or undisciplined. You are scrolling because your brain was built for the quiet, connected world of the campfire, and it is desperately trying to find its way back home. The algorithm knows this. It feeds you digital crumbs that never actually fill the void. So tonight, when you feel that urge to scroll just one more time, look at your phone for what it really is, a port imitation of a flame. Turn it off. Look at the darkness. And remember the quiet, unbroken peace that is still waiting for you just beneath the noise.